For today's lesson, we're going to use substitution to solve systems of equation. From the lesson preview, you should be reminded that a solution to a system of equations is where your two lines intersect. You can pick out that answer, -2, 4, and check to make certain that your solution is true. For a system of inequalities, you want to shade and find the region that is shared by your two lines. Sometimes graphing is not the best way to solve systems, so we're going to try a new method of substitution. For example 1, you have y set equal to 3x plus 1, and you have y set equal to 5x minus 3. These y values are a shared value, so if we were to set those equal to each other, we will have 3x plus 1 equals your 5x minus 3. Use your algebra skills to solve this equation. We're going to have 1 equals 2x minus 3. That gives us 4 equals 2x, or x equals 2. Now you know from your lesson preview that it takes an x and a y. Fortunately, when we go back to our first equation, y was equal to 3x plus 1. The x is supposed to be a solution to both equations, so it doesn't matter which one of the equations you choose. We end up with y equals 7. Then you can check your answer using your second equation. Y equals your 5x minus 3. If we substitute 7 and 2, do we get a true statement? In this case, it is true. Remember to write your answer as an ordered pair, 2, 7. For example 2, we have y that has been isolated. Now the y value in the second equation has not been isolated, but we're going to take the 1/3 x minus 3 and substitute it in for the y in the second equation. So 3x plus the quantity 1/3 x minus 3 is equal to 4. So that's why this is called substitution. Simplify. We will get your 10/3 x minus 3 equals 4. 10/3 x is going to be equal to 7, or x equals 21 over 10. Now take your 21 over 10, substitute it in for one of your equations because we need the y value. Y equals 1/3 times your 21 over 10 minus 3. So we end up with 7 over 10 minus 3, or you have -2 and 3/10. We check this with the second equation. If we have 3 times 21 over 10 minus 23 over 10, do we get the answer is 4? Now let's look at our third example. Notice none of our variables are isolated. The x and y are on the same side for x plus y equals -7, and we also have 2x plus y is equal to -4. So we have 3 choices. We could solve for x, this second y, or even the y in the first equation. You get to pick. Now, what I'm going to choose to do is I choose to solve for the y in the expression x plus y equals -2. Equals -7. So when I do that, y equals -7 minus x. So now I have y by itself from the second equation. Go back to the first. 2x plus. We're going to replace the y value with -7 minus x, and that must equal -4. Add like terms. X minus 7 is -4. X is 3. Once you have an x value, use your equation to find your y. Y equals -7 minus 3, which is -10. So I believe my answer is 3, -10. But I want to check it. Go back to one of my equations. Is 2 times 3 minus 10 equal to -4? Yes, it is. Is 3 minus 10 equal to -7? Yes, it is. So I do have a solution to the systems of equations. Now, for example 4, you have 6 times x 2 times y, 3 times x, but this y is all by itself. I'm going to solve for y. Isolate y. Y equals 11 minus 6x. Once I've isolated that y, I'm going to replace the y in that second equation. So 3x plus 2 times the quantity 11 minus 6x equals my negative 5. Use the distributive property. You're awesome at solving equations, so let's just use the skills we've been practicing. Negative 9x is going to be equal to negative 27. X is 3. So now we have x is 3. What's missing? Don't forget, you need to find that y. Go back to y equals 11 minus 6x. Fill in the 3. So y is 11 minus 6 times 3. We're going to end up with a negative 7. So I believe the answer is 3, negative 7. We're going to go and check our answers. Is negative 7 plus 6 times 3 equal to 11? That does check. Is 3 times 3 plus 2 times negative 7 equal to negative 5? That one is also correct. So we have an excellent answer, 3, negative 7. So you're reminded that a system of linear equations is a set of 2 or more linear equations that have 2 or more variables. A solution is an ordered pair that satisfies the system of equations. We're trying to substitute and get a true answer once the substitution has been complete. In order to solve a system using substitution, solve for one variable of one of your equations. Substitute into the other equation. Solve to find the answer to the first variable, and then you need to find the answer to the second variable. Always write your answer as an ordered pair and check that answer. Practice some of these questions, and then we'll take a look at a few choice ones. Number 2, you have your Strauss family deciding between 2 lawn care services. The green lawn charges $49 for a fee, plus your $29 per month. So when you set up green lawn, you should have 29x plus 49, and when you read about the grass team, you should have 37x plus 25. In how many months will the services cost the same? That's finding your x value. What will that cost be? We're going to search for the y value, and then answer question B. Now for question 4, we have the fraction in front of the 1/2 x. If you do not like the fraction, you can clear the fraction. As you'll recall, multiply by your least common denominator to clear that fraction. Rewrite the problem, then you'll be able to solve for one of your variables. X equals 10 plus 2y. Then substitute into the second equation. 10 plus 2y replaces the x. Minus 4y equals 8. You can continue with the problem by solving for y, and then once you have y, determine your x value. So number 6 looks a little bit complicated, but truly it's not. You have 2 equations. These are not linear. The first one is an absolute value. The second one is linear when you're told that y is negative 8. So you're going to substitute negative 8 in for the y value and set up your new equation. Once we have that solved, we get 4 is the absolute value of x plus 3. Split this open, so we'll have x plus 3. It's going to be equal to 4, and x plus 3 is going to be equal to negative 4. So x is either equal to 1 or x is going to be equal to negative 7. So this one actually has 2 solutions. Your x value is 1, while the y value is negative 8. And your x value is negative 7, while your y value is negative 8. So 2 solutions for question number 6. Number 10, I've set up the problem for you. Take a look at, they sell twice as many bags of popcorn as pretzels. So the number of popcorn has to be bigger than the number of pretzels. We're going to multiply 2 times the bags of pretzels. For number 12, yes, it has decimals, but you can handle it. You have choices. You can multiply everything by 10 to clear those decimals, but I think the numbers get a little bit too big. Instead, I'm going to solve for x. I know that x is 4 plus y. I'm going to substitute in my 4 plus y and then continue with the problem.